Hi, my name is Will, and I'm going to show you how to practice more efficiently. This video is brought to you by the Music Over Miles teaching program. So there's only so much time in the day, and there are a lot of ways to waste your time practicing an instrument. A lot of ways that aren't a good use of your time to getting better. They actually hold you back. So I want to take a look at these things and show you an alternative to them that'll give you much more bang for your buck in terms of you put an hour in the practice room. Maybe right now you can learn 8 or 16 bars of music. If you use these tricks, you'll double that easily. Might even quadruple it. So the number one thing to remember is that accuracy is everything. Playing accurately is the key to improving. And it's because of the way our brains work. Our brains retain and remember muscle movements, whether or not we want it to. I mean, it has no selectivity about it. If you make a movement, your brain is going to make a path so that that movement is more easily recallable so that you can do it again without thinking. Over time, you do it 1,000 times, you're going to make that movement and not even have to think about it. So how this plays into practicing music is when you play a wrong note, you're training your brain to remember how to play a wrong note. And when you play a right note, you're training your brain how to play it right, correctly. So I've got this piece, Maple Leaf Rag. You've probably heard it before. It's a good little example to show us some of these principles. So let's say I've spent a couple of weeks learning how to play it, just learning the notes. And I've got that behind me. So now I'm just trying to play it straight through without making any mistakes. So a lot of times this is how you'll see people practice intuitively. They go. So what I'm doing is I'm playing from the beginning until I mess up, and then I go back to the beginning and I do it again until I mess up, and then I go back to the beginning, and it's this process over and over where what you're basically doing is you're just reinforcing everything you're doing right there. You're playing the first bar or so, all those first few notes, those are great, no mistakes. Then you get to that one problem spot and you keep messing it up, and you're basically practicing the stuff that you've already got down correctly. You're practicing that a lot, and you're practicing this little piece that you need to work on that's wrong. You're practicing that wrong. So you're just bringing the difference between the stuff that you've got down pat and the stuff that you need to work on. You're just driving them further apart, and it becomes very frustrating over time because you just never feel like you can play the piece without making the same mistakes. So here's how you can address that problem. There are 4 tricks I'm going to show you. The first one is to practice slowly. You probably heard that before, and it's really good advice. So I've been playing it about here because that's how fast I can play the stuff that I've got down. You need to slow everything down to the speed that you can play the tough parts correctly. So that might be... Oh, still made a mistake. Slower. There is no such thing as too slow. Oh, I just want to get to the other part. Oh, come on. What that does, not only are you practicing it accurately, and your brain will quickly start to wipe out all those wrong motion memories, you're kind of guiding your brain into a much more patient state of mind, which is another piece of the equation to how to practice efficiently. A state of mind that is anxious or impatient is not going to retain information very well. It's got so many other things running through it that even when you're concentrating on something, you're really only like half concentrating on it because you've got all these other things like, I have to do this thing in an hour. I better get this much done in this practice session. I just don't feel like I'm improving as fast as I wish I was. All those thoughts are just completely holding you back. They don't serve anything to making you better. So if you can be patient and practice slowly and accurately, your brain will just start to let go of those anxieties and things, and you'll start to just absorb much more quickly. And practice becomes fun that way. So that's the biggest trick, is to practice slowly. The second trick is to practice in chunks, selectively. So in this case, it would be like, this is all easy. It's this note that I keep messing up. So let's start at the spot that I'm messing up and back up as little as I can. Let's just take that. And then go right after it and stop. That's your chunk. That's what you practice several times right after each other. So I just practiced it 3 times in the amount of time that it would take me to practice it once if I were playing it all the way through without being selective about what I'm practicing. And you can't practice like that all the time. It's just not that musical. It's very mechanical. But a little bit of that mechanical practice will make massive differences in your accuracy level. It's how you clean up tough spots. You chunk them into the smallest chunks possible, and you play it 7 or 8 times, and then you move on. Maybe you have to come back to it, do it another 7 or 8 times. It'll get easier, and it's such a relief to get those bad habits and the mistakes out of your system by doing that. It's totally worth your time. So the third thing is to practice hands separately. That would be this. It's easier to practice hands. It's easier to play it accurately, hands separately, obviously, because this hand doesn't have to do anything. So it's just another trick to shortcut your way to accurate repetitions. There's absolutely nothing wrong with playing hands separately. In fact, I think I probably do it every other day or something, just because it's just another way to isolate the problem. It's a short trick, but definitely worth your time. And the last trick is, this one's a little contentious, you might say. Some people disagree with this, but I think it's a really strong practice technique to practice things out of time. So like here, it would be like playing it up to playing things at a tempo where everything is easy and comfortable, and you don't have to worry about getting to there in time. So like the stuff that you've got down, you play it at a nice, easy tempo, and then here's the tough spot. So you just kind of freeze time, slow down, make the motion to the next note, play it, and then go on. Just do that. You'll get faster. It'll naturally start to even out. And that's a great technique because it makes you accurate. There's no way you can be inaccurate if you don't have to play in time. You just take it, even if it takes 20 seconds. Okay, what note is it? It's that one. The one my pinky's on. Okay, so if I put my thumb there, and then I put my pinky on the octave below it, and then that is all that mental struggle and work. That is the process by which you create the connections to play it more accurately over time, to keep doing it accurately. Every time you go through that struggle, you shorten the amount of time it takes to make that same calculation, so to speak. So playing out of time, I think it's a great trick if you're just trying to get accuracy and not worry so much about the tempo and stuff. If you're just trying to really nail down the muscle memory, practicing out of time, it's a great tip. Make sure you supplement. It's only a supplement itself to practicing in time. So you don't want to only practice out of time, but a little bit here and there does wonders. All right, so I think these tricks can make a huge difference in how quickly you progress as a musician on any instrument. But I hope you've gotten something from this. So basically, to sum up this video, you learned how to improve your efficiency in the practice room by slowing down, by taking chunks of music selectively to practice, practicing hands separately, and practicing out of time. All right, my name is Will Padgett. Thanks for watching.